dibattito sulla manovra, voi sapete meglio di me che abbiamo a che fare ancora con limiti ormai archeologici, fossili normativi, che però, a differenza dei fossili normali, incidono negativamente sulla vita quotidiana dei comuni. Andiamo avanti con i lavori della nostra assemblea e ora è il momento di chiamare sul palco Jeremy Rifkin, economista e sociologo, che è qui con noi, vero? Ok. Scusate, io non vedo nulla perché ho delle luci davanti a me. Ok. Eccoci, a cui cedo il palco. Thank you.
Everybody hear me okay? Let me say, I love Italy. I've spent more time in this gorgeous country than any other place in the world for 40 years, and I always love coming back here. If I had a second go around, I'd be born in Italy. So thank you for allowing me to be with you this morning. I'd like to particularly thank Mayor Manfredi of the City of Naples and President of Anci for my invitation. Thank you so much. And Mayor Lipore from the City of Bologna for hosting this event. Thank you, thank you. Let me start with a little parable, a story. There are two little fish, and these young little fish are swimming in the ocean, having a good time. And all of a sudden, a very old fish comes by from the other way, whiskers, gray, and the old fish stops and says to the little young fish, "Hello, boys, how's the water today?" And the two little fish they look at each other, and then they just keep floating along. And then a few minutes later, one of the little fish says to the other little fish, "What the hell is water?" And the parable here is, it's the medium in which we exist. We take it for granted. We don't think about it. It's just there. We're waking up to the fact we live on a water planet. We live on a water planet. And we have not understood that for thousands of years. Let me give you a story. Back in 1972, our Apollo astronauts were heading to the moon. When they came close to the moon, one of the astronauts took out a little camera, turned around, and shot a photo of our planet from space. It shocked an entire generation. We thought we were going to see a beautiful green planet with various shades of green and land masses. The photo showed a beautiful blue planet, mostly blue, all the shades of blue, just a veneer of green on top. That was a wake-up call. We long believed we live on a land planet. We live on planet Aqua. This may be the only water planet with life in the universe as far as we know. It's an amazing experiment we take for granted. And now we need to understand what the waters are doing. In 2021, the European Space Agency said, this is Planet Aqua. Get used to it. We've been living on a planet we haven't understood. It is not a land planet. It is a water planet. Then, a couple years later, NASA, our space agency in America, said, yes, the human race is not understanding where we live. We've completely misconceived the planet we live on. And that's why we're in trouble. Here's what's going on. For the last 2 centuries, the industrial age, we have spewed massive amounts of fossil fuels into the atmosphere. CO2, methane, nitrous oxide. We dug up the burial ground of a previous period of history, and we dug up the old remains of plant and animal life that had morphed into coal, oil, and gas. We exhumed the bodies, and we emitted massive amounts of fossil fuels into the atmosphere that gave us more CO2, methane, and nitrous oxide. And those gases are not allowing the sun's heat to get back off the planet. And the result is our water planet is rewilding. We're getting these massive snowfalls in the winter in places that never had snow. In the spring, we're getting flooding across every continent, every region, month after month after month of floods, destroying infrastructure. Our fellow creatures are dying. Our communities are falling apart. Then in the summer, we get month after month after month of droughts, no water. No water. And then with the droughts, we're getting heat waves. 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 115, 120, 125 degrees Fahrenheit month after month. People are dying. Ecosystems are withering. Then the fires come, the firestorms. In my country, we have whole communities in the western part of the country wiped out. Urban areas, suburbs, communities. And let me say something to you. The actual continent that's heating up the fastest with global warming is Europe. Europe and the Mediterranean. What do we do about this? Our scientists tell us we're in the 6th extinction of life on this planet, this water planet. It doesn't even make the news. And we could lose half the species of life on this planet in the lifetime of your children and grandchildren. Gone. We'll never see them or hear them again. The last extinction event was 65 million years ago. Here's the problem. We're asleep. Because we're using the playbook to address this crisis, which is a water crisis, the hydrosphere is rewilding. It doesn't need us. The hydrosphere is determining where the new ecosystems will be. The hydrosphere is determining the migration of our plant and animal life and our own human species. The water is much more powerful than us. We're not very significant. So where do we go from here? Our scientists are telling us we're in the 6th extinction event. Where do we go from here? We need to turn our attention to a whole new set of ideas. The playbook that's taken us to this crisis is the playbook we're all using to solve the crisis. It's the way nation states operate. It's modern institutions. It's our scientific inquiry. It's how we educate our children. All of the playbook, it's the World Bank, the OECD, the IMF, the United Nations, all of these institutions we've all created. And we didn't mean this. they have actually taken us to this crisis. So how can we use that playbook to address the crisis? Got to have a new playbook. We have to rethink scientific inquiry, complex adaptive systems thinking. We have to rethink our economic life with infofacturing and 3D printing infofacturing. We have to rethink the way we educate our children. We have to do all of these things in order to find a way to become immersed again in where the hydrosphere is taking us. We can't control the hydrosphere. What we can do is, instead of making the hydrosphere adapt to us, that's 6,000 years of urban hydraulic civilizations. Instead of making the hydrosphere adapt to us, we've got to adapt to the hydrosphere. That's simple. So how do we do this? We need to begin here in Italy with a plan. I'm a big fan of Italy. Italy led us in the Renaissance. It was Spinelli that created the European Union for us. We need a Spinelli moment. And I am convinced, not just because I'm here today, I've spent a lot of time here, I'm convinced that Italy can lead Europe, and Europe can lead the world into a completely new third industrial revolution infrastructure in which we flourish by adapting to the waters rather than the waters adapting to us. This can happen here, and we've got all the mayors in the room right now. You're here. It will be up to the mayors and the municipalities, because what's happening is climate events don't give a crap about political boundaries. They don't care about political boundaries. The floods, the droughts, the heat waves, the wildfires, the hurricanes, they affect ecosystems. The problem is, post-Westphalia, nation states were not around ecosystems. They were territorial colonial situations. So nation states have nothing to do with the ecosystem. What we need to do now is we need to move to what we call bioregional governance. And this is where the mayors come in. This is where you come in, all the men and women in this room. When there's a climate event, a flood, a heat wave, a wildfire, a hurricane, they cross political boundaries. They don't care about political boundaries. They affect ecosystems. So what's beginning to happen here is municipalities and regions, governments are allowing them now to extend governance to bioregions that cross political boundaries so that you can prepare, rescue, and restore those ecosystems. It's a whole new area. It will be the municipalities in this room, it will be the regions that do this. So we tend to think of nation states and geopolitics. We have to think about municipalities and regions and biosphere politics. And right now, you see in Italy and other places, this is happening. Governments are beginning to allow municipalities to cross political boundaries, share their ecosystems, and move forward. This is beginning to happen in real time. Here you are. I was so pleased that you invited me to come here this morning, because I'm saying to you, it's the mayors of Italy and the regions where they cross borders to share common ecosystems that will be the new playbook for Europe. And Europe will be the new playbook for the world. And we're running out of time. We got to do that quickly. Next steps. We got to rename this planet. We have to rename this planet. This isn't marketing. This is not a land planet. But we have to understand that when the universe was created, the Big Bang, immediately after the Big Bang, thermodynamics took on. The first and second laws of thermodynamics, and the entropy trail began at that point. And it was all about water. The water molecules have been here since the beginning of the universe. And those water molecules showed up on this planet 5 billion years ago. They're still here. They don't disappear. Water molecules are immortal. They do not disappear. So everyone's confused. We hear about floods and droughts and droughts and floods, but the water molecules don't disappear. They're just changing when they come down, where, and in what volume. So we're going to create a completely new infrastructure. Communication internet's already here. We have 4 billion people with a little cell phone that can now connect with each other around the world. It's all distributed. Everybody's the infrastructure. Energy, we have solar and wind. Europe gave it to us. Now it's all over the world. It's distributed. You can't centralize it. It belongs in every bioregion, solar and wind. It's everywhere. We now have mobility, electric and fuel cell transport. If you have an electric vehicle, it's all distributed. You are the infrastructure. You are the infrastructure. If we have water microgrids, and they're coming, there will be millions and then hundreds of millions of water microgrids in the next 20 years, just like we have 4 billion people with cell phones and millions of people with electric vehicles. It's all distributed. It's not centralized. So, and these water microgrids are going to be in line in ecosystems with edge data centers. These big companies like Amazon, they're not going to be here in 25 years from now, I'm telling you. Because what's happening is that as we become more bioregional, everything becomes distributed, including our communication, our solar and wind energy, our electric transport, and now water grids everywhere, and then edge data centers, they're here. There's thousands. They're going to be millions. Because these centralized data centers, they use too much water. You know how much water it takes to create 1 bit? It takes 8 gallons of pure water for each microchip. There was 1.3 trillion microchips last year. You can't do it. Edge data centers are coming, where you as mayors across your regions, across ecosystems, can have edge data centers all distributed. We share. We're moving from globalization to glocalization. So you know the architect Cuccinelli? You know Cuccinelli, the Italian architect? He takes 3D infrastructure manufacturing, infofacturing, and his robot shows how to take the clay, and then the clay builds out a building. 24 hours. Done. Then he can go from a seller-buyer market in your municipality to a provider-user network. He can take the software for that 3D printing, and he can send it on his little cell phone at zero marginal cost in 10 seconds to an architect in the Philippines at no cost, distributed. She can build as many buildings as she likes and pay a license fee. This is a completely distributed infrastructure revolution emerging at the municipal and regional level. It cannot be stopped. It's cheaper. It's global. It's bioregional. And guess what, mayors? You're it. I came here today for one specific reason. I am convinced that the mayors here in this country will begin the task of bioregional governance for the world. Because right now, we only have one bioregion in Europe. It's France and Spain sharing the Pyrenees, Occitania, and the Balearic Islands. I would like Italy now to do a Spinelli moment. And that is for the mayors in this room to come together. Now, I was in Venice, as some of you know, recently. And Venice is the oldest water city in the world, right? Venice, water city. So the mayor of Venice has passed a resolution for a Blue Deal, a Planet Aqua world. And now calling upon mayors across Italy, please join together. And so next June, hopefully the mayors of Italy will be there in Venice and say, we are going to rename our city as a Planet Aqua city. In our codes, our regulations, our standards, our bylaws, that we are if you will, a blue city, a Planet Aqua city. And the reason I want to do this is, some of you have children. When your little 5-year-old says to mommy and daddy, "What is this place we live in?" They always do that. You're going to say to your little baby 5-year-old, "Sweetie, you live in a water planet. You live on Planet Aqua. You live on the only animated planet because water animates the lithosphere, the atmosphere, the biosphere. It's in all of our bodies, all of life." When your child grows up, understanding this, it will give them the fortitude, the belief, the faith that we can actually make this transition before it's too late. I'm an old man, but I'm saying to all of you mayors, you have a great responsibility. This cannot be wasted. Do not worry about what's going on in the geopolitical world. What's happening with nation states, they're fighting each other in an endgame with tariffs. That's what's happening. You know what? The software you send, there's no tariffs. If Cuccinelli sends his software to another part of the world, then they build out whatever machine they want. There's no tariffs. This is happening. And look at the big companies in Europe, and Siemens and SAP. They're all going to this. Airbus. Last thought. The moment is now. Please go back to your cities, because the cities are where the real world is, not nation-state governments. The cities are where you have to deal every day with all the people that are coming to you. I know, because my wife is an elected representative in the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. She spends 18 hours a day on everything from road repair to water, everything. This is what you do. So I'm hoping that all the mayors in this room move toward a Planet Aqua worldview, a blue deal to go with the Green Deal. Now, let me talk about the Green Deal. Last thought. I worked with Europe for the Green Deal. We put it in. And the Green Deal has to be even stronger now because we're emitting too many fossil fuels. For every 1 degree the temperature goes up, we have much more fossil fuels and more water events, more floods, more droughts, more heat waves, more wildfires. We have to begin to turn that around, and very, very quickly. So when you mayors and the city councils come together, make this the priority, because if we don't get rid of the fossil fuels quickly, we have more floods, more droughts, more heat waves. The hydrosphere determines this planet, not us. We have to learn, instead of making the hydrosphere a resource, we see it as a life source. We adapt to where it takes us. Last thought. Please, I am asking you, please, all of you mayors and city councils in this country of Italy, you gave us the Renaissance, you gave us the Spinelli moment, you gave us the European Union. We need another Spinelli moment. It's going to be you in this room, that takes us out of an old economic, social, and political paradigm, that takes us into globalization, bioregional governance, infofacturing, all new ways of having our stewardship of water. If not you, who? You. Please, take it upon yourself to make this a great exercise for the future of humanity and for the sake of our fellow creatures. This is a very unique water planet in the universe. Let this experiment continue. It's in your hands. Thank you.